Hello everybody, this is Melissa the Cupcake Stitcher and I want to welcome you back to my next video. Today is Saturday, March 4th. It's been another hot minute since I've made a video, but I have a lot to show you today. A lot of progress, a couple new starts, a finish, and of course lots of purchases because let's be honest, that's what we're all here for, is to gawk and oogle at everybody else's stash, right? Right? That's why I watch Flosstube videos. I want to welcome you back if you are a returning viewer. I want to welcome you if you are a new viewer. I know I have had several new subscribers lately. Some comments on some older videos of people going back and watching the original Melissa. Same couch, maybe a little bit longer hair. That's about it. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm going to try and keep this under an hour today. We'll see if I can keep my rambling to a minimum. It's, of course, going to be a challenge, but we'll give it a shot anyways. So, life updates. My brother is finally home. So he was deployed at the end of April 2018, and he got to come home at the very end of March. So it was actually the day after my mom's birthday. We were really hoping that he would make it back for her actual birthday. That didn't happen, but we were all, because it was a Saturday, then we were all able to go to the airport, pick him up, took him out to lunch. Two of his friends came to welcome him back as well, so they came with us. We went out to lunch. The following weekend, we had a party for him at one of our local bars. So family, friends, whoever wanted to come see him, greet him, welcome home, could do that. And so that's fantastic. It's nice that he's home. He just went back to work this week. He took some time off. He's been house hunting and reacclimating and just enjoying life. He's actually running a marathon this weekend in Cincinnati. I think it's the Flying Pig Marathon. So if you are out and about in Cincy and see runners, wave and pretend it's my brother because he's out there somewhere. He's like the fittest person in our family. I hate to run. I make people exercise all day as a therapist, but I do not run myself. I will exercise, but I don't run. So that was exciting. 2 weekends ago, I drove up to Findlay and met most of the Whistle Stop gang at the Craft Gallery, which is run by Paula and Carlton. It's an amazing little shop in Findlay. They have tons and tons of pattern, amazing fabric displays. I think Pam and Steph have talked about that quite a bit. I think they may have even taken videos on some older Flosstube videos. I don't think they did anything this time, but they have great big drying racks, and that's just how they display all their fabric. It's fantastic. So we met up there about 11 o'clock, 12:30, 11 o'clock, 12:30, 11 o'clock, 10:30, somewhere in there. We all did some shopping, spent money, because that's what we like to do. We went out to lunch, and then we came back and stitched for a little bit before we all went home. So it was great to catch up with them for a few hours. I did not spend the most money, so I felt pretty good about myself. But yeah, so we did that. Our next Crockpot Friday is this coming weekend, or this coming Friday, which I am thankful that I do get to go. I totally forgot to put in a request for work because we had scheduled these so long ago, and I don't normally like to put things in too far in advance because it'll get lost on my boss's desk because she won't like write it off right away. She'll kind of wait. But I am able to take a half day off and work, so I'll drive down in the afternoon, probably go to Keepsake, stitch there a little bit. I might try and keep my spending to a minimum. I have a lot of things that I want to work on right now, a lot of projects that I'm loving. Yeah, we'll just, I'm super excited about that. So, what else have I done? I went to a little craft fair last weekend in Dayton, Vintage Market Days. They're all over the country. There's actually one in Dayton and in Columbus the same weekend. I only went to the Dayton one with one of my coworkers. We had a great time. Didn't find anything really stitchy related. I always try and look for old antiques or, something that I could put some cross stitch on or incorporate into. Didn't really find anything along those lines, but did find some other good little finds for the house. So I'm just gonna jump into stitching now. Not too many life updates, so um, just been doing some yard work, keeping busy, working like a dog. So um, whips. So I did create this handy dandy little sheet. I'm getting organized, people. I know that you never thought you would see this. And this is purely because of magical stitches. We had to create a whip list. So this is Melissa's cross stitch whips. I made this. I have them all listed out here. And then I gave myself just a few extra lines so I can handwrite things in, because I'm not going to update this like right away. I'm going to write some things in and then go back and kind of update it as I need to. So in the time that I've seen you, I've had 2 new starts. One of those is actually a finish as well. So that's super exciting. But yeah, otherwise I've just been stitching, going along with the challenges. And again, I'm seeing another piece that I didn't add to my stack. So I'm going to reach down, grab that, and we'll actually start with that piece here first. Okay. Sorry if you had to see the top of my head there. So first whip is my Lucha Rapunzel by Pinky the Pink, Make It Pink, Ashley May on Etsy. If you guys ever have any questions or want to know where to find a pattern, let me know and I'll include the link. Otherwise, I'm not going to update the box because I'm lazy. We've discussed this in the past. So I've used this for a few challenges, maybe just 1 or 2. I haven't been excellent at writing them down. I've been really good at updating them on the actual posts on Magical Stitches, but not on my post-it notes quite as much. I think I'm doing an okay job. I may have only worked on this once. I extended this section here from the last time that I made a video. I did go back and watch to kind of see where I was at. And so I worked on this section here and extended that down. It's probably like 300 or so stitches is my guess. It's probably roughly true. Yeah. So this is still kind of a nice piece to work on when I am running behind on a project, if I can make it work for an assignment, because it's just a lot of back and forth, big blocks of color. So I am really liking this and how it's turning out. That's my first whip. My second whip has gotten quite a bit of attention since the last time you saw me. I've used it for 3 homework assignments, 1 extra credit, and 2 extra assignments, kind of pop-up ones. So, and this is Country Cottage Needleworks Snow Days with an S. So this was gifted to me by Heather Moore, the Blessed Stitcher, and I've made some pretty good progress on it. I'm stitching it on 32 count. What is this? Vintage Country Mocha. Yeah, it's printed. Vintage Country Mocha. So this one is turning out super cute. I got most of the snowman done since the last time you've seen me. I may have had a little piece of it. He's still got some arms. He's still got a bottom here to go, but we're chugging along pretty well on this one. Let's see, I'm just going to read off some of my stitch counts. I haven't added everything up, but 313, 601, 516, 336, 100. It's a lot of stitches, people. So 5 or 6 different prompts. Made some good progress on this one. So pretty happy with that. Again, as soon as I get this one finished, this one will be passed on. But not quite yet. Like I said, I'm loving all of my whips right now. I don't really need to start anything new. There are some things I do want to start, but I don't need to start anything. So my next one is Rosewood Manor Sunrise. Guys, it's just so pretty. I've worked on this for 4 different homework assignments. 258 stitches, 202, 508, and 107. So I've made some decent headway on this. This is also stitched on 32 count, but opalescent linen in Banshee, hand dyed by Stephanie. And here is my progress so far. So since you last saw me, I have added, I had most of these circles here done. I've added the line and the little flower in between. I've added this border here. and I have started to put in the word sunrise. This is like my favorite color floss. I think it's blackberry. I'm looking to the side like I have it, but it's actually over here in my project bag. But I love the way that that pops off of the fabric. It's so pretty. So that's my progress on that one. I made some more good headway on this. Columbus Skyline, Sharon Kids Designs. This was my mom's old whip. And I picked it up and been working on it a little bit. I think I used it for 1 or 2 since I've seen you. Maybe just 1. But it was a big assignment, so it was like 500 stitches. And I worked a little bit more on the skyline there. So you can start to see a little definition of the buildings. So this one's coming along pretty nicely. I got my beautiful needle minder from Miss Katie Glass because I love the Buckeyes. My alma mater. I'm not sure how I folded that out last time, but that's not right. I'll have to fix that when I put it away. I have also worked for one assignment on Deer Snow Globe by Shannon Christine Designs. Cute little piece. One of the assignments, they gave you like 3 different options, and I went for the one that gave you the most points. And so you had to create a storyline about your whips and how you visited all these different shops, and they had a list of all the shops you had to visit in Hogsmeade. So you got 2 points for every shop you were able to visit. If you're able to get all of them in with a story, you got 20. You got 5 bonus points. So you got 25 versus the other 2 prompts were like 10 points apiece. So this one worked pretty well in my storyline because I could make it work for some of the items in the stores that you would find. But when I went to stitch this, something was not working up, and I had to working out, and I had to figure out where I had gone wrong. And I did find it, but it took me quite a while to do it, and so I got pretty frustrated just because I was tired of looking at this piece. But here's my progress on that. I've added some green. I got a little bit of gold. You can see how it's kind of sparkling there. But it was like one of these little white pieces, and then I had counted off of it from the bottom or something, and it just wasn't working out. So then when I was filling in with some different white, which I know you cannot see this right here. Let me zoom in. Come up closer. When I was carrying this white up here down, it wasn't lining up or matching up where the other white should have been, because one's just white and the other is the white with Krynic. It's actually just supposed to be Krynic, but I blended it with white. So I did figure it out. I didn't have to rip out too much, but I did have to rip out a little bit, and it was more or less just annoying to try and figure that out. So that's where I am at on that. I like it. I'm really excited because the other colors, the green that I'm throwing in there, is really starting to bring out the piece a little bit more. I have also worked on Seasons in Chalk Summer quite a bit. Right there, that's what it's going to look like. You can see my post-it notes. So this is where I was the last time I did a video, and so you can see I've done several different prompts, 3 different homework assignments, 2 pop-up events. So this is one I've been trying to use as assignments as much as possible because I want to have it done so I can put it up for summer. Right now I have my spring up right now. It's still appropriate. Got one little dangly thread here. I got some in the back as well, but this is where I am at on summer. Let me put something behind it because this fabric's pretty sheer. So I've got that first big flower done, 1.5 bumblebees. I've started carrying the vine up to the top and then some of the letter. I've just kind of been picking up and just kind of going around the piece as I want to. Normally I'm a kind of a color completer. I'll complete the colors across the entire piece and then go back in and do the next color. Sorry, you guys know that I hit my table. This one I've just been kind of finishing an object and then moving on, or getting to a point and then switching. Like, I don't know, just stitching on it whatever I want. Sometimes I do have to stitch on something specific for magical stitches. So like one of the assignments was to stitch on a vine or on something in green. And so that worked obviously for both of those options. But I stitched directly on the green, or stitch on an animal. So I stitched on the bumblebee, like so. But I've made a fair number of stitches: 500, 500, 350, 314, 31. So it's probably like a little over maybe 2,000? No. I don't know how to do math, guys. 350. That's roughly 350. 345. 6. Oh, over 1,000 stitches on that. Making good headway. Still got obviously quite a bit more to do with that. Right now we're doing in Magical Stitches Quidditch World Cup. And so this is the second match. It started today. Ravenclaw, I think, is facing Slytherin today. We've just faced Hufflepuff the last 3 days. And so with that, it's kind of nice because they're trying to leave it a little bit more open for those that are doing Mania. And so you can pick on any project and you're just stitching. And so you're stitching as a team. And there is like one specific challenge where whoever stitches the first 1,000 gold stitches, so the floss has to have the gold in the name in those 3 days in gold, gets like 50 points. They catch the golden snitch for their team, and then everybody else is just stitching on projects just to add stitches to their total. And so for what they'll do is they'll add up all of the stitches that the team has done, divide it by 100, and that's how many points the team gets. So I think for my last one, I stitched personally 516 stitches. So that would go into the total, but I know I earned at least 5 points for Ravenclaw. And so you get those points regardless. And I can't remember if the winning team gets more points added on as well as a group. So it's a little bit more freeform. You can stitch on whatever you want. The goal is just to stitch. So I've also worked on I'm calling this my jeweled crown. I think the actual pattern is called Queen. And it says Queen underneath of it. I'm going to change that. It's not going to say Queen. I'm going to pick some kind of quote. I left myself plenty of room. This is on 28 count Mystic linen by PTP. And this is a blend of Kreinik and DMC. So it doesn't really show how sparkly it is. Well, I guess it's more of a subtle sparkle. It's very silver. I don't remember. I have my stuff over there. I know I've shown it in the past what I've been blending this with. It's like 415, like the 14 series. I'm blending with Kreinik's. That's going to work out pretty good. And what I also might try with this piece, I picked up some Swarovski crystals from Hobby Lobby, and I might try and glue them to the piece in place of the jewels, because I was going to do beads, but the beads just don't have as much sparkle as I want. And everybody else is like, I'm sure you guys are all like, beads are sparkly, Melissa, get over it. And I'm like, they're not sparkly enough. But when we were up at Craft Gallery, there were quite a few pieces on the wall that had little Swarovski crystals on them. And so I talked to Paula, and she kind of told me how she glued them on. And let me tell you, like, those pieces are stunning, especially if you like sparkle like I do. So I did pick up some different options to put in here. I'm not going to pull those out either because I'm not 100% sure that's what I'm going to do, but it's definitely what I'm leaning towards. So I've made some decent headway here. working on this branch of the crown. I don't know where my post-it note went for that one, but yeah, that one's coming along too. Like I said, I'm liking a lot of my projects right now. This one is super close to a finish. I just use my camera as a mirror as I'm making videos. But this is the Ghost Trilogy by Mill Hill. I'm stitching them all in one piece. I'm using fabric. I'm not using the perforated paper. And so when I'm all done, I'll probably put all 3 of those together and send them out to someone else. And if you want to do it, you will have the perforated paper and whatever beads and stuff I have left. So I'm stitching this out on 28 count witching hour by PTP. I picked that up at Stitch Away. I've made some pretty good progress with the beads. I'm stitching kind of down the lines, so I still have to come back then and do the lines in the opposite direction. But after that, Ellis will be done, and I will move on to either Eerie or Essence. I don't remember what order I was going to do them in, but I have this super long piece. It'll probably be about that big there. I'll leave a little space in between them. But yeah, so he's super cute. All right, so those are all my whips that you have seen in the past. I also have 2 new starts, and like I said, one of those starts isn't finished because I couldn't put it down. The first one though is going to be a gift for my best friend. She's pregnant again. I think if you watched my last video, you would have seen the little bumblebee cake. I think I put a video or a picture in at the end, or maybe I just said to go look at my Instagram. So I made a bumblebee gender reveal cake for my best friend. Turns out she's having another little girl. She already has one. She will be 2 in July, same as my nephew. They were born 8 days apart. So they're pretty close in age, obviously. And then baby number 2 for her is going to be due at the very end of July. So the girls will be about 2 years apart. And I had done a cross stitch piece for Monroe, which is the older one. And so my best friend was like, well, you have to make a piece for Willow too. And she definitely appreciates my my stitchy talents. So they are big Disney fans. And when I say big Disney fans, like that's where they went on their honeymoon. They just went in December. And so I was like, I'm definitely going to do a Disney piece this time around. And I found this pattern on Etsy. I don't have a picture of the completed pattern, but it's the Disney castle. And then it has the big opening in the Mickey ears, kind of hit the shape of his head here. And so I think I'm probably going to put a little quote inside. And yeah, so this is what I've gotten done on it so far. So I'm really working again on this piece as well as Summer to try and get those 2 done. This is stitched on 28 count Beach Walk by Under the Sea Fabrics by Leslie. I ordered a yard of this because I love it. I ordered it in Lugana, and what I had seen was in linen, and so the dye lot was a little bit different than what I was expecting just because of the fabric it was on, but that does not mean I like it any less. It's a little bit more pink than I had planned. Pink and kind of purple, but for this I think it works perfectly. I kind of grabbed a piece of it where it kind of transitions down. I really like that, and it's opalescent, so it's sparkly, but then the rest are just regular DMC. So I switched out a few of those colors. If you want my conversion, let me know, and if you want to know where the pattern's from, let me know as well, and I'll link it, send you the link. But I made decent progress on that. Used it for 6 assignments, 4 homework, 1 extra credit, 1 pop-up event. So anywhere from 30 stitches, that was a pop-up event, I remember that one, up to 600 stitches for homework. So I like it. I like it a lot. It's very girly. So still trying to think of a quote. There are plenty of Disney quotes for little kids that I could put inside the Disney ears. But I think that's probably what I'm going to do. So You'll see that one quite a bit here in the future. And then the last one was a purchase that you saw at my last video, and I said I had kitted it up. I bought it when I was down for Crockpot Friday at Keepsakes, and it is Needle Bling Designs, Get Your Tail to the Beach. I loved this piece. It's so simple. And then I made it so sparkly that I just kept getting drawn back to it. Love it. So I switched out the colors, of course, like I said, because I made it sparkly. I really only used it for 4 different assignments, 2 homework assignments, 1 extra credit. And most of the extra credit assignments are about 500 stitches or so. And then 1 pop-up event. And that's what, I said it was pop-up event, but for Ravenclaw versus Hufflepuff in the first World Cup match, this is what I used, and I finished it with that. So I used Petite Treasure Braid, 028, or just PB28. It's kind of like a rose goldy color, really pretty. Sorry, I'm super blurry right now. We'll see if that comes back. It may or may not. There we go. No, that just made it worse again. But anyways, and then I used a combination of Weeks Dye Works Isla Morada and Krynic 029. So I blended those 2 together for the fin. And I stitched this on 32 count. I think it's 32. That's my tag. Yes, 32 count Winter Brew by R&R. And, oops, let me fold this here. Here it is. So I was worried that the rose gold was gonna kind of get lost in the fabric. It's subtle, but I like it. I like it like this. I mean, I really wanted the focus to be the mermaid tail anyways. So, sorry, as I'm covering up the camera, trying to get this to focus more. Yep, on my face. There we go. It's better. But yeah, I love it. I did double up on the Petite Treasure braid so that it was a little bit more saturated. I tried blending it with a DMC and I just didn't like the way it looked. But I love the amount of sparkle this piece has. This is great. I've been using a sparkle glitter filter on Instagram. So I was like, how'd you get it so sparkly? And I was like, I cheated. But that was actually showing it pretty true to form. It's really shiny and sparkly. I love it. So I have an idea of how I'm going to finish this piece. So maybe we'll see that in the next couple videos. Actually, let's just leave that there. So, stitchy gifts. I don't have too many, but that's all right. Candy Stitches. She showed up a little bit late at Craft Gallery. She had some stuff going on that day, but she brought us 2 new floss colors. One is this pink, which is luscious. Like, look at the variation in there. So pretty. I love this one. And then I'm also not a brown, like it's almost, I don't know how to describe this color. It's not normally a color that I would, it's showing up kind of orangey. This color is gorgeous as well. I love it. Love this. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but I love this color. So pretty. Yeah, so she brought each of us one of those. I'm going to start a Candy's Floss collection. She's made us, this is the second set that she's made us, so we have like, I think 4 from her, but yeah, beautiful. And then I did have a friend on Instagram message me. She watched my last video and asked if it would be okay if she sent me a pattern that had kind of a beachy mood to it. I didn't ask her if I could use her name in my video, so I'm not going to, but she sent me this lovely Easter card, and then she sent me this hands-on design. I believe it's from a retreat, so it's kind of a special piece, a limited edition design, and it's called Where the Stitching Meets the Sea. And so there's two different patterns. The first one says Where the Stitching Meets the Sea, and then the second one says Cross Stitch Pals 2017, 20 years. And so what I've decided to do, I'm going to use, I think, probably both of these pieces for my StitchCon Small. I have a great idea of how I'm going to finish it. I found something at Hobby Lobby the other day that I'm going to use to finish it up. And I had most of the colors, and if I didn't have the right color, I was able to kind of substitute something that I think will work pretty well. So I'm using, I think this is smoky gray linen, 36 count. There, I'm dropping on my floss. Let's just drop the rest of it, and then I'll hang them up here as we needed to. And so these are the colors that it calls for. Chalk, Weeks Dye Works Deep Sea. Love this color. I'm obsessed with it. And I actually had bought this for another project, which you'll see here in a minute from the craft gallery. Capri by Weeks Dye Works. Aztec Red. Love this. I love it with those blues and on this fabric. Absolutely love it. Gentle Art Barn Gray. And then it also calls for black, which I'm not, what did it call for? Blackboard. I'm just going to use black. That's fine. And so those were all the colors that I had, and then I substituted two. One was Weeks Dye Works Sandcastle. I didn't have that, and I really couldn't find, I'm almost wondering if it's like a limited edition thread or something. But I am going to use DMC 950 for that. There we go. And then the other color I didn't have was Weeks Dye Works Mocha. And I am going to use Stringy Bark Dinky Dye Silk for that. It's very kind of variegated brown. I did look up the DMC equivalent for the Mocha, and it was like 3860, 263, kind of in the brown range. And so I pulled those out, and it was almost like a perfect combination of those two. So I was like, awesome. Like, just pulled it from my stash. And so that's what I'm going to use. Like I said, I'll have the black in there as well. And then she still had one of the charms left. So I might see if I can find another charm to put on each of them. And if not, I'll just put it on whichever one I think needs it more. So that is probably going to be what I'm working on today, right after I finish this video. I canned that up last night, kind of found what I wanted to do, and I'm going to go for it because StitchCon is about 2 months away. So I want to make sure I have plenty of time to finish that and get it done. So more purchases. I got some needle minders from No Name Needle Minder. I got a little crown, a little snowflake, an M. You can see they're all supposed to be glittery. And then she sent me this beautiful little butterfly for free. So I've got those. I bought this cute little bag from Jo Pretty Southern in her Etsy shop. It's a small project bag, but I loved these pumpkins so much. I wish it was in a bigger bag, but I think she had already sold it, and I didn't ask her if she had any more of the fabric. But I have one of her other project bags, and I love it. I love her, like, the frosted or matte vinyl. I like it so much more than the clear see-through. I like the feel of it. I don't know. I love it. So cute fabric on the inside. beautiful orange zipper, but these pumpkins are everything. I don't even know which one's my favorite. They're all my favorite. They're so cute. So, haven't used that yet, but maybe that'll go for my beach walk thing. And then I did, of course, some shopping at Cross My Heart. I bought a couple of patterns. I found the Cricut Collection Autumn. I got the other three at Stitch Away via a combination of gifts of patterns that people were getting rid of. And then I think I bought maybe one from the shop. So, or from the annex. So Autumn, that was the last one I needed in my collection. I bought a bunch of floss. I don't remember what this is for. Deep Sea, I think. Actually, I do remember what some of this is for. And I didn't pull it out. Which one is it? It's Erica Michaels design on the 40 count gauze. It's a little set. I think that's what most of this is for. I have a problem, guys. I have a real problem. So, I'm gonna hold these up. I don't think that one is included. I think I just liked that color. But it's a pattern. It's got a little door, and it says something about seeking, finding. I don't remember what it is, but I kitted that up. I looked online and found them colors. I think I made a few minor substitutions just because I did not like the colors that it called for. Mainly, you're gonna see why I was shaking my head at myself. So these are, I think, most of the colors that calls for, and then there was like a gold because there's keys and the hardware on the door. And it was like a real, I don't even know how to describe the color. It was ugly. That's just what I'm gonna say it was. I hated it. I hated the color so much, and I was like, I am not using this. And I couldn't really find a yellow that I liked. So I bought Petite Treasure Braid because I have a problem. I'm not sure how that's going to be stitching on 40 count gauze. I'll let you know because I'm going to do it because I'm nuts. So I have no idea which one I'm going to use. I don't know which. I kind of like. That's a little bit more muted. That stands out a little bit more. Looking at it on camera, I think I'm probably going to use this one. Just making executive decisions here. I like this gold better. But I think this gold goes better with it. So that might be a new start here soon too. I kind of forgot I bought that. It's the problem with buying so much stuff and not making videos frequently enough. Yeah, so lovely colors there. What else did I buy at Cross My Heart? I bought another Nora Corbett house. This is Mr. Darby's house, and I love this house series because it's like straight up glitter. I love sparkle, right? So I bought that one, and then they still had some market release stuff out. And Katie Glass had shown me this when we were at Crockpot Friday. She bought this fabric as well. And it is, where's my tag? Did they take the tag off? I'm really mad. I think this is 28. No, I think it's 32. Where the heck did the tag go? I'm really salty about it. But this is Nessie. And I bought what they had left of it. She was like, how much of this do you want? I'll go cut it for you. And I was like, I just want it all. And I think she was like, what? And I was like, yes, I'll take it all. So I think it's a fat half. Yeah, maybe. Half that half. It's decent size. But I felt like I got judged when I was like, I just want the rest of it. I'm sure they're like, you don't want to share with everybody else. And I'm like, no, I don't want to share with everybody else. Katie Glass didn't share with me. I tried to steal it and she wouldn't let me. So, but I love that color. No idea what I'm going to stitch on it yet, but there's that. And that's what I bought at Cross My Heart. And then, like I said, we went to Craft Gallery. So I think I spent about $300 or more there. But I found a lot of goodies. Some pieces, some things I've been looking for. The first one is Rosewood Manor, Crowns of the Kingdom. And you can guess it, I want to do this piece because I want to do it all in Petite Treasure Braid and sparkles. So I think it would be really cool to do this and then hang it next to my other crown that I am doing. So Crowns of the Kingdom. Who finished this one? Ginger Gerald. I think he did this one a while ago. And his finish was amazing with this. So I love it. And then I've been looking for this for a while now. Sunset. I wanted to buy it from the store. I didn't want to necessarily buy it online. And I could have had someone order it for me, but every time I went into a store, I just looked. Cross My Heart has some Rosewood Manors. I've been up to Craft Gallery before, and they didn't have it the last time I was in. But they did have it this time. And so I bought this, and then I also kitted it up, which I'm going to pull out the floss here. These colors, like I love Sunset's colors, but I love these colors even more. Look at these. You guys are probably like, this girl is a disaster. She's just dropping stuff left and right. Trying not to cuss. So they had all but one of the colors that I needed. And so I'll just order that online, or next time I go into the other stores. I think it was Sedona that they didn't have. Like, look at this one. This is Bethlehem, right? Yes, Bethlehem. The deep sea that I pulled for the beachy pattern came from this, as did the Aztec red. There's more of the Bethlehem. There's one that's called Fathom that I really like. Twilight. This is Twilight. It's pretty similar to the, but look at the colors against each other. So pretty. So, so pretty. So I would go through them all, but I love all those colors. So I probably won't start that until I finish Sunrise, but it's going to go on the same piece of fabric. I'll probably finish it into 2 pieces, but it's going to be on the same fabric and everything like that. I also found my Kathy Barrick and Heaven and Nature Sing. I don't know why. I love that deer. I love this piece. I'm not a big prim person, but I do. Every time I've seen this piece, it just stuns me. So that went in my cart. And this is another piece that I actually had been looking for a while. Glendon Place, Thanksgiving. I freaking love these turkeys. I love them so much, and I do not know why. I'm just like, what up? And so I looked through the all the dinky dyes that it calls for, because this piece is intended to be stitched all in dinky dyes. I don't know if it needs to be. So I picked out 3 of the colors that I thought I liked the variation in the dinky dyes in. And then the rest I'm just going to do in DMC, because it does have a DMC, it has a Sullivan, and it has an anchor conversion. So I bought the fabric, which I'm using 32 count Joblin and Queen Anne's lace. And then this is for the words, and then the turkey neck, and then the first set of feathers behind him. So the words, the neck, and then that first patch behind him. That's what I got for the dinky dyes. The rest I'll do in DMC. Just because a lot of the other colors didn't have as much variegation to them. And I was like, I just can't fathom paying, $4 or $5 a skein for that. So this one's ready to go. This would be good if I may want to try and get that done by Thanksgiving. I want to get everything done by like now, right? We all have that problem. A few more little purchases. Primitive hair. Prim gray. I just liked it. So cute little packaging. They had a bunch of those. So that's a primitive hair fabric. Oh yeah, Pam had brought her skeleton crew pattern because she wasn't like dead set on the fabric that she had picked. And she did end up picking something new, and she was there with, she had her pattern. So I was like, I just kept looking at it. I was like, I have fabric for it, and I'm also not dead set on it. And now I am. So, excuse me. This is 32 count tarnish by PTP. I can't open it because it's got a pin in it, and I don't want to undo it right now. But it's definitely more what I was looking for. The other piece I had was more of a purpley mixed with a green. I think it was Bewitched. I don't remember by who. But Katie Glass had given it to me, and I liked it, but something was just holding me back from starting it. Because I have it mostly kitted up at this point too. And I love this color. Definitely more along the lines of what I was looking for. Kind of a greeny gray with a little bit of blue in it too. So, love this. Another piece I want to start. What did I say? I love all my whips, but now I want to start everything too. And then this was probably my most expensive purchase. This is by the Victoria Sampler. It's Jingle Bells Christmas Tree Farm. I'm not going to show you how much I spent on it. And you're like, why is that your most expensive purchase? Because it's got everything in it. So it's got all of the beads, all of the Kreinik, I think there's some silks in here. Yeah, so it's got everything in it, which is why it was kind of expensive. But I really like this piece. So I've got lots of things kitted and ready to go. I did grab some little odds and ends. I found these cute little embellishments. They're the little Christmas lights. That did not help at all. I'm definitely going to find something to put on those because that's adorable. I bought some more palm trim. This is in sea glass. Love that. And then I also wanted to try this out because you guys know I like sparkle. So this is Threadworks Kreinik No. 4 Overdyed Braid. How pretty is that? This is definitely softer than Kreinik. So I don't know, but I mean, that's what it is. It's Kreinik Fine No. 4 braid, and then they overdyed it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but I'm definitely going to stitch something with that at some point and give that a feel. I feel like it's going to be really easy to stitch with that because it's pretty soft. Like Kreinik, a lot of times it's not. I don't have a problem stitching with Kreinik, but yeah, there's a big difference between this and this. It's like plump. Love it. And so what color is that? That was 410540. 410540. Does not have a name on it, but I love it. It's a pretty color. And then the last thing I bought was a project bag that I didn't need, but it's giant and it's Ohio State. So it's got my pal Brutus on the back. It's got the nice big window in the front. I mean, this is a big project bag. It's deep. Like that'll hold at least an 11 by 11, if not maybe, I don't know if it'll hold 17, but Q-snap. It'll hold a good size Q-snap though. So there's that, and it's got a little handle on it. So those are my purchases. I was able to keep this one under an hour. It's about 49 minutes here, almost hitting 50. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get back to stitching. It's kind of a lazy weekend. My grandma's 90th birthday is on Wednesday, so I am going up to Toledo tomorrow with my sister for a birthday party. My parents are already up there this weekend, so we're gonna have a little party for my grandma, and yeah, then just go about it. I do have some cake orders and stuff coming up through May, so I'm gonna be busy, but it's always a good busy. So Crockpot Friday this week, super excited for that. Yeah, so I will catch you all next time. Again, if you have any comments or anything, questions, leave them below. I definitely try and answer questions. If you just leave kind of a comment that says, hey, I enjoyed your video or whatever, I might like it, but I don't necessarily always reply to those. So thanks for stopping in, and we will see you guys next time.